Well, hello there. I saw the Sonic movie too. That's not correct formulated English, but whatever. Yes, indeed. I saw this yesterday. I saw it with bacon, and well, you're probably curious about what I thought about it. Well, first of all, before we start, spoilers ahead. If you're planning on seeing this movie, because, I think Europe got this movie way earlier than North America did. So, in case you want to, save all the stuff yourself and whatever, I can give you the short version right now. I liked it. It was comparable to the first movie, and it was just a fun kids movie. It wasn't necessarily something groundbreaking, but it was a movie with action scenes and sort of funny bits and all that stuff. Nothing that I'm gonna particularly think about too much after seeing this, but I thought it was fine. North American date is literally on screen. Oh, it's April 8th. Oh my god. Well, I've already seen it, and well, I can say this about the movie. I think, short version again, there were spoilers is kind of ahead. The first movie is better in terms of a movie, but the second movie is much better in terms of a Sonic movie. You get Knuckles, you get Eggman looking more like Eggman, and you get Tails in it, and you have more of a fan servicey dynamic in that terms, but it also suffers a little bit because of it, because at most times the characters don't really know where they're supposed to be. So you have Tails and Knuckles palling around and doing dance choreography in Siberia, and then Knuckles kind of shows up occasionally, and then Eggman gets the Master Emerald at the end, and he becomes the Sonic 2 final boss, the robot, and then at the very end, Shadow the Hedgehog is there. Yeah, I told you spoilers, but yes, it was a fine movie, but it also had a lot of filler in the between. I thought the movie ran out of a budget midway through because, quite frankly, I don't really care about the human characters in this movie. The first movie had I'm gonna call him the human with the two arms. The human with the two arms, let's call him Joey. Sonic has been adopted by Joey in the second movie. Now, Joey's wife, her sister is getting married in the movie, and for 30 minutes, they dedicate a wedding scene to that, and absolutely nothing of value happens. Sonic is in Siberia looking for the Master Emerald with Tails, and at that scene, nothing is going on. They just pal around and play, it's like that movie, it's like the Top Gun. Playing with the boys, and nothing is happening. And I thought, did they do this because they ran out of money to animate the cartoon? It was shocking. It had nothing to do with Sonic for a while. So, it took me out of the movie. But it was nice. It was nice, because I could check my phone. Yes. Now I'm going to ask you, who here has seen the movie? Who here has seen the movie so far? I did, yeah, I have. Okay. Well, a lot of people haven't seen it yet, but I have. And I can tell you right now, if you're curious, I think that it was great having Tails' voice actor reprise the voice, or the voice role as Tails. The only shame about this whole thing is the fact that they did not get Sonic's real voice actor in this. I thought for the longest time that they're gonna correct a lot of aesthetic mistakes throughout the movie, i.e., Eggman looks more like Eggman, blah, 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 blah. Steve Urkel did not show up once in this movie. I was waiting until the credits, and I was wondering, maybe, okay, bullshit aside, here's the long version of my review. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It is a very okay sequel. Again, it's that kind of kids movie where it's really a kids movie. Let's not make any mistakes here. I.e., The character feels insecure or down about something, so they need a pep talk or a motivational speech. I.e., the music is somber and it swells, and instead of the characters talking like this, they're like, I don't believe in myself. You know, I used to be somebody, but I let everybody down. And then another character comes in, I believe in you. Theme song kicks in. You know, that. So it has that sort of aesthetic on it, and there was a lot of kids watching this movie in the movie theater naturally. But what was perplexing to me was the fact that we were watching this movie when I saw the first movie with Bacon about 4 years ago, I think. We accidentally had watched it in Swedish audio at first, and it took us about 2 seconds before we threw up in our mouths where we said we need to see this in English audio instead. So we did, but this time around we saw Sonic 2. First language was English. The problem is a lot of these kids were below the age of 5 and they couldn't read, which was a bit of a problem because the audio was English, but the kids didn't understand what they were saying. So most of the times they were pointing at the screen when the red cat was on screen going, Nucleus! Nucleus! So I don't know what they got out of the movie, but what I did get out of the movie was a fun little adventure movie, a sequel to the movie. The only thing that takes a kind of a backseat to this entire movie is the human characters. I mean, besides Jim Carrey as Robotnik, which, by the way, I want to add a little bit of a caveat here. He was not that great this time around, i.e., he was funnier in the first movie. He's still Jim Carrey and great, but he was not as funny. Like, if his first movie performance was like, oh my god, this is like saving the movie, quote unquote, I felt like, yeah, it's Jim Carrey. Yeah, you know. Still okay and funny, but it wasn't as funny, if that makes any sense. Yes. However, I think that's more to do with the fact that I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Jim Carrey's comedy. I love Jim Carrey, he's a great guy. I just don't like watching The Mask for the 500th time, if that makes any sense. Because I feel like this is just The Mask with a mustache, which is, for better or worse, you know, you know, smoking. You know, it wasn't me, it was the one-armed man. I love The Mask, but, you know, but hyperbolic statement aside, Jim Carrey's still great in it. But, yeah, I got more laughs out of, like, I guess Sonic? I don't know. There was this and that stuff that was funny. Some stuff didn't work. But again, it's a kid's movie. The strangest thing in this movie was that Eggman flossed. Now, in the first movie, as I remember, Sonic flossed, and it elicited a big reaction online. So they followed up on that in the second movie, where I forgot the context of the conversation that Eggman had, but it had something to do with, like, him talking to Knuckles, and then Eggman was, if you don't know already, has been stranded on this mushroom planet, and when he gets back with Knuckles on Earth, he has this brief conversation with Knuckles saying, back on Earth, I am king. And he starts flossing. That was the moment where I stood up in the audience and everybody looked like, what are you doing? And I started clapping. That was the moment this movie went from a dogshit Scooby-Doo 2000 movie into a cinematic goddamn masterpiece. I started crying. The guards came, took out their blow darts and went into my neck. I was carried out of the movie, and I missed the rest of the movie, but I knew deep down that this is gonna change everything. You see, Sonic the Hedgehog to define my expectations of what a movie could be. This movie was... Let's get back to the movie here. No, he flossed. That's not a joke. But it did make me audibly retch. But then again, the kids loved it. You're gonna get a lot of back and forth of jokes and shit like that, but as I said, you got my serious kind of review at the start here if you're curious about what I thought. But again, fine adventure movie. Now, if you're not planning on seeing this movie, or rather, if you don't give a shit about spoilers, this is kind of where now we can like start talking about it. There was a lot of fun references in this movie, though. You see the what is Agent Stone, which is Eggman's biggest fan, quote unquote. He has opened up a coffee shop called the Mean Bean. And I was the only one who got this reference. I was looking at Bacon like, shit, they made a reference to Mean Bean Machine. And Bacon's just looking there with his like expression like, duh. And I'm like, I want to shake him like with his popcorn top, like, look, you know. That was nice. And then once Jim Carrey rolled his arse in the movie like, promotion, and I stood up and I started clapping. Because I knew this was the moment this movie changed. Security came and they took their blow darts and they went into my neck. And the reference is true though. That was nice. But okay, recycled joke. If there's anything I can like complain about and nitpick, again, I really enjoyed this movie. It was really fun. The CGI at times looked a little meh. There's a scene where Knuckles and Sonic is on the beach after losing the Master Emerald. And the CGI started looking a little bit like Scooby-Doo 2000. They had a bunch of sand in their like pines or whatever we want to call it. And I'm like, has this been rendered properly? Small thing, but you know, it took me out of the movie. You know, it wasn't the fact that two giant animals were talking and throwing chili dogs on each other. It was more the fact that a bunch of sand on their skin bothered me. So, anyway, you're probably wondering. Okay, I'm really trying to not crack many 2-minute jokes here. But I'll say this, and this is a very serious thing. This is like jokes aside and all that stuff. I really like these characters. I am not the biggest Sonic fan, but these three characters, Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic together, they make for a really fun dynamic, and I'd love to see more movies with these, including with Jim Carrey. They're just very fun on screen. They not that I'm sitting there like rooting with the characters like oh my god, you know, but they're just very fun. They crack jokes, you know. Tails is very fun, and Knuckles adds that dynamic of he's the kind of stern kind of warrior, he's the proud warrior type. Sonic is the jokey one, and Tails of course is kind of the geeky mechanic that, you know, knows all the tech stuff. And these three together, they work, they're fun. Very nice, very nice. There was something that kind of took me out of the movie, though. At one point, this movie, both this movie and the previous one, has a lot of music in it. The second movie started playing Pantera, and I was the only one in the movie audience, like, doing a double take. What? There's a scene where where Eggman has gotten the Master Emerald, and in this movie, the Master Emerald is like a wish granter, right? It allows you to conjure anything you want, right? And Dr. Robotnik's wish is to create a giant walking robot from Sonic 2, essentially. And it's like neurologically linked up to his thoughts. So he's sitting inside the robot and walking, and suddenly Pantera starts playing. I'm like, what? So that was unexpected. But that's not a joke, by the way. You can, you know, if you're planning on seeing this movie or have seen it yourself, you know what I'm talking about. But there was some other couple nice things in the movie. You can see it in the poster too, but, you know, Tails flies the plane from Sonic 2. Or actually Sonic 3, isn't it? Yes. Sorry, my bad. My Sonic knowledge, ironically, is not that extensive. But, you know, for what this is, it's very, very... The Tornado, yes, that's what it's called. It was also in Sonic Adventure, I should know that. But yes, it was, once again, a very fine movie. It was very fun. The only detrimental things in this movie is really the characters. And there's this big wedding scene that really goes nowhere. There's a tremendous amount of like dancing in this music in this movie, and they're basically Tails is saying, well, the Master Emerald, the clues to this Master Emerald might be in Siberia. So they go all the way to Siberia and they go to this random like pub in the middle of nowhere, and all these like Siberian dudes want to throw them in the fireplace and torch them alive because they're calling them freaks. And then Tails has this Google Translate device that fucks up and is terrible, and he's basically saying farts, 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 farts. And that entices a angry riot among the Siberians in the pub, and they want to kill him. But at the very last second, Tails is looking up a knowledge of Siberian traditions. One of them is Pavanka, or whatever it's called, and that is to do a dance-off. So they do a dance-off. And this goes on for about approximately 20 minutes. So, you know, if you're into dancing, sure. And this really doesn't amount to anything. It's just fun. So, you know. Anyway, but, you know, I don't really mind that much. What was I gonna say? You also had Knuckles in the movie, which is played by Idris Elba. And I thought it was a fine performance, but I think the biggest thing about this movie that really works, Idris, is Tails and Sonic palling around. Having Knuckles as well is great, but these two really make the movie. Like they are the most fun on screen, you know. I think that Jim Carrey said something about maybe retiring after this movie, which I thoroughly believe is bullshit. This man clearly loves acting, and it's conveyed very well in this movie, because, you know, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I can tell you that they had a lot of fun shooting this movie, because all the actors here look like they're having a blast, especially Jim Carrey. Like every scene he's in, he's just like popping on screen, and maybe he's joking a little too much, and that's why I'm saying like he's playing it kind of like The Mask. Not that this villain needs to be serious, but he's very The Mask-esque. So, you know, there's that. He's twisting and palling around, yeah. I'm retiring / leaving equals pay me more. I don't know what it is, but, you know. There was a little thing in this movie, again, these little Easter egg things that, you know, really make the movie. At some point, as Agent Stone, which is Eggman's biggest fan, he's been waiting for Eggman's return, you know, every single day. And he's been making outfits for him. One of them is a cowboy. And one of them is classic Eggman, aka box art Eggman. Well, not necessarily box art Eggman, because then he'd look completely different. But, you know, the classic look. And I thought that was a little neat throwback, I suppose. But it's cool. It's a cool little fun movie. If you want to spend about 2 hours in a movie theater, feeling like you don't necessarily... If you want to feel a little old when you're surrounded with a bunch of kids enjoying a cartoon movie and you're like, why am I here? By all means, go see Sonic 2. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you eat popcorn, and you'll leave going, I want to see another one of these bastard movies. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. And whenever this gets released on Netflix or whatever, I recommend it as well. You know, get a sandwich, get a soda pop, you know, sit down and watch some Sonic. You know, you get 2 hours of a little fun adventure with Jim Carrey and a chili dog eating Hedgehog. And just for the record, here's where the super spoilers are. If you still are like, oh, can you tell us anymore? Yes, I can. Super Sonic shows up at the very end. And there is that little 12-year-old inside me that wanted one specific thing. Very, very specific thing. Because, you know, the whole premise of this movie is the Master Emerald, right? If you're curious how this Master Emerald factors into the movie, Knuckles is from one planet, Tails is from another planet, and Sonic is from... I think also Knuckles' planet, but you see... Oh, actually, no. Sonic is from his own planet, I believe. You see, if you remember Sonic 1, there was this bird people that took care of Sonic. These bird peoples, Long Claw, warred against the Echidna tribe over the Master Emerald, right? And essentially, Knuckles is the last of his kind. Sonic is the last of his kind, and they kind of bond over that, because initially Knuckles is a villain. It's a very deep lore, but they had a big war over this, which was, like, surprising, but sure, whatever. That shows so. But anyway, so they were guarding the Master Emerald, all that stuff, right? And they're all trying to get the Master Emerald in this movie with... Is this pre-recorded? Oh, absolutely. Anyway, Eggman, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and what was my point about talking about this? Oh yeah, Eggman gets the Master Emerald and he turns into Super Eggman and he makes whatever he wants, aka like the Death Egg robot or whatever. But then Super Sonic shows up, because at the very end where the Death Egg robot is gonna stomp on Sonic, Sonic gets the Master Emerald and it turns into classic Super Saiyan Super Sonic. And it is that 12-year-old in me that had that little spark of joy in my heart, because I thought this would have made me not even a Sonic fan, being like big old saucer eyes. I wish this is gonna sound so stupid. It's gonna sound so fucking stupid. But you see a little glow underneath the giant robot's feet, and you see Super Sonic in there. You know what they should have had in the musical cue as Super Sonic's eyes glow up in the mist? I would have jumped up on the audience. I would have started clapping. They would have taken out the security guards and took a blow dart and go thump into my neck, and I have to carry me out. Anyway. But it's true, Super Sonic shows up at the end. I honestly, jokes aside, the reason I bring this up, this is gonna sound so fucking dumb, but hear me out. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I would have loved? It is one of those corniest things I've ever said in my entire life, but it is that 12-year-old inside me is saying, like, what if the most cheesy Gorgonzola song they could have picked is a cinematic orchestral version of this? I would have stood up, I would have clapped, they would have taken a blow dart in my neck and went, I would have... Anyway, no, but it was good. Now, here is where the super duper spoilers are. If you want to see this movie, it's probably too late because I've ruined the movie for you. But I want to show you, because I saw this movie with Bacon, and well, I will show you. I will show you. You know, it is a bit of a pain to watch movies with me sometimes because, you know, I'm a bit of a bastard. But, we saw this movie, and this is the end credits. This is after everything's said and done. This is post-credits. Because I knew they were gonna do something. And lo and behold, they did.
It was a black site, sir. Someone worked very hard to keep this hidden.
Mario!
My God.
Mario!
Project Shadow.
Luigi!
You know, so I'm just saying that this movie was great, and I can't wait to see Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Shadow. But yes, indeed. Now, here's I know a lot of people are saying, Joel, you can't show that. You can't show that, Joel. Well, luckily for you, I have uploaded this whole camcorder experience to piratebay.gov. Go check it out. It's called the Joel Cut, and it is a shaky cam for about 2 hours where I eat popcorn and go, and you can watch the movie with me. It's really funny. I laugh at all the jokes, and I can't hold a camera. So check that movie out, Seed Please. It really is an awesome experience. In fact, it'll make you stand up, clap, have people come out with a blow dart, shoot you in the neck, and carry you out. Because you know what? This movie is great, and I highly recommend this. Final verdict about this movie. If you enjoy a fun adventure movie, if you're a Sonic fan especially, go check this movie out. You'll have a lot of fun. In fact, bring some friends along, because you'll probably crack up at all the sort of lame jokes and all that stuff. It's a really fun movie to see with friends, and I say, if I were to give this movie a review, I'd say a strong 6 out of 10. That's on the verge of being a 7. It's not something you're gonna particularly remember, but it's a fun movie. I would say this, 6.9. 6.9 out of 10. Go check it out, olivegarden.com. It is the 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 movie. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I can't wait to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I hope eventually that all the Sonic characters get in the movie, you know. That includes a incentive where you get to pay the movie producers a little bit of sponduli, and Spank the Monkey can get in. Joey the Hedgehog can get in too. You see, there'll be a background prop, and they'll be in the movie for 2 frames, but it'll be canon. So check that out. I can't wait to see Big the Cat. I can't wait to see the Chows. Because, you know what's a little weird about this movie, though? They're slightly changing the way these characters kind of look in the most nuanced, slight way possible, because they're given more of an eyebrowy look to the brow, the forehead of these characters. And I can almost tell you that they kind of want to get away from the initial design. They kind of want to go full classic Sonic look, where they have the giant mono eye. They're not ever going to do that. But I think they're slowly realizing, why the fuck did we ever change the look? People just want the real Sonic the Hedgehog shit, alright? That's the reason that we're bringing in Tails, Knuckles, and having Eggman look like classic Eggman. Because they know that that's what people want. We made a mistake by trying to differentiate between these two things. And if Sonic 3, they all end up looking very retconned, don't be too surprised, alright? But, no, of course they're not gonna do that, but, you know, hey. Anyway, as I was gonna say, check this movie out. I really enjoyed it. I probably spoiled the entire movie, but, yeah, you can still see the movie. You won't particularly miss out on too much, even though I've spoiled it, but, yeah, go see it. April 8th is when this movie comes out. I highly recommend it. Fun movie. Now, where's my goddamn fucking check? This movie suck fucking dick! Cashing out, baby! Sponsored stream. Check it out. YouTube.com.